underestimate SB and Sean, breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made, real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound, unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade, real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live as we talk sports. Sean Webb, real takes over fake debates. It is Friday, and you see, Sean is looking better. He's getting good. He getting good. Also, well, for the people who listening on the other platforms, or audio platforms, Sean, how you sounding, brother? How you feeling?
Getting better, SB. Doing good, brother. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, everyone out there. Just it's been a crazy week with everything going on down here, but definitely feeling better, man. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Sean, as you can hear, Sean sounds well. And also prayers to everybody down in Florida, anybody dealing with the hurricane. Pray for everybody's safety. Pray that you get anything you need when it comes to food, power, water, whatever. And let's hurry up and get everything fixed. And let's prayers for everybody out there. Hope everybody survive. You know, everybody keep your heads up, prayers. Shout out to everybody in the chat too. Also, one thing we also do have to drop this real quick, Sean, to let everybody know that we are live on all platforms.
Real Takes Over Fake Debates has invaded the audio podcast world. Add Real Takes Over Fake Debates on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartMedia. Leave a 5-star review and comment below. New episodes every Monday and Friday.
Yes, we give you new episodes every Monday and Friday, and we might throw a little bonus episodes because we are on Apple Podcasts, we on Spotify, we on iHeart. Check us out on all platforms, and shout out to a lot of people. We be getting a lot of people listen to us from other countries, like you see Finland. So shout out to Finland. But Sean, we do got to get into the show though. We want to keep the people waiting. They come here to hear us talk sports and crack a couple jokes from time to time. So yesterday, I was chilling with the fam and everybody. You know, we have regular time. A girl watched on Netflix. Bad Boys came on Netflix. I know before anybody killed me in the chat how I didn't see Bad Boys when they come out. Okay, I missed my beat. It's cool. But look how God bless your boy from sometimes. It pops right back up on Netflix. So I noticed was scrolling on Netflix. We're going to go to Bad Boys. I see something on the side that says start 5. I'm like, hold on, wait, what is this? I told go to that. And I looked at it. I'm like, oh, okay. So it is a Netflix docu-series of going through the NBA season last year of some of the biggest players. You know, you got LeBron, Ant-Man, Tatum, just to name a few. When you look through it, things that happened during the season for them. And I think it might be worth the watch. And I like before I start preparing for the show, Sean, my mindset, and I'm so used to watching like the ESPN 30 for 30s. I'm just thinking it's 30 for 30 because I'm always used to it. So I'm like, oh, I know it got to be good. I'm not expecting too much from it because it's like just the behind the scenes until I seen the Ant-Man clip and the LeBron clip. Then I was like, okay, it might be worth the watch. But it's on Netflix. I'm going to give it a chance and watch it. Before we get in a little more deep dive about the clips that I've seen that sold me on watching it, what about you? Do you think about watching it, or this might be a pass for you?
It's a pass for me. I had no plans to watch it at all.
Okay.
Honestly, nothing against shows like that, but they don't necessarily make me more interested in the games. I'm more of a game and documentary watcher in terms of like want to learn things about the past or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a way to promote the game and to try to get some of the faces of the game in front of a bigger audience, but I don't necessarily need it myself, to be honest with you, SB.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. What told me a little bit, and I was gonna play the clip, but Ant-Man was kind of, it was after the game in the locker room. I'm just saying he's very excited. So we over here, we keep it clean. But so to give you the scenario of the Ant-Man situation, so obviously with the Timberwolves versus Boston during the season, I believe the Timberwolves won this game, and Ant-Man had got 2 stops in a row off a switch on Tatum. He pretty much said he locked his behind up, get out of here with that weak stuff, and get the bleep out of here with him being the best player in the league. Right. And I like that. And I was like, what excited me about seeing it, I'm like, okay, this could possibly bring back competitive rivalries. And maybe it's just Ant-Man because Ant-Man talked that smack and talked that deal. So I'm like, okay, that excites me from that point. Then at LeBron James' point, and for his side of the story, it was talking about how Darvin Ham had him on a minute restriction, and he was getting mad about him being on a minute restriction. And then when he got to the end of the clip of like everything, him like complaining about it, and they were showing like the process of how LeBron take care of his body, he was pretty much saying like, until I feel like it's people on the court who could do a better job than me, I don't want to sit down pretty much. And I was like, dang, it's kind of a shot at him and shot at your team. I don't know if you want to say this. And now I'm like, okay, what other back controversy did it cause team chemistry? So that's the only thing that really caught my eye. And I was like, I'm gonna have to go ahead and sit and watch it and see what I get from it. Then they got the other players too, Sabonis, Tatum, because you get Tatum point of view, Jimmy Butler. Maybe they might break up the point of how Jimmy Butler complaining about the contract thing. Who knows? It's the behind the scene thing. And then he coached a little bit different. Might get Pat Riley on that. So I don't know. That's what sold me though, Sean. So that's why I might have to go ahead and turn on my tool for that. But let me know if you guys will watch the Starting Five Netflix series. Let me know if you did watch it already. Let me know what your review is on it. Sean, obviously you see all the Bulls stuff behind me, Chicago Bulls, that is. My boy, obviously, I've done a drab of tears of joy. My boy officially retired. So the Bulls are already planning to do Derrick Rose, honoring Derrick Rose night, January 4th. I might have to be in attendance on that game. So I'm letting you give a heads up. I'll put my PTO in if it's on a Monday or Tuesday. I'm letting you know that January 4th, we're going to the Bulls game. But obviously with Derrick Rose being retired and he having an honoring him night, that was coming to the point where people are debating, or the Chicago Bulls are discussing, should they retire Derrick Rose jersey? I mean, a blind man or a deaf man can know my answer to this question, and I can explain more, but I want to know, do you feel like Derrick Rose deserves to get his jersey retired?
Yeah, I think SB, every organization has a different standard for retiring jerseys. The Bulls are one of those organizations that are very tight when it comes to retiring jerseys. They only have 4 retired jerseys technically. Bob Love, Jerry Sloan, of course, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen. So I think as an organization, it would certainly make sense that they would want to honor Derrick Rose in that way. And also, I think as an organization, you know, they got to, and I say this not that you do this simply for other reasons. Obviously, it is about that player and what they meant to the organization. But after what happened last year, when they honored when they did the Ring of Honor and the Jerry Krause situation with the fans, you know, booing and things like that, you know, they really, I think, do need to try to do something to kind of endear some goodwill.
Honestly, some good juju or something, brother.
You know, so I think certainly it should definitely be in consideration. I don't think necessarily that needs to be this season either, but I do think, you know, certainly needs to be done. But also, again, you know, as we talked about before the show, I do think, you know, there's another player who did play for the Bulls who they would not have won 3 titles without, in all honesty. And he's a Hall of Famer, and that's 91 Dennis Rodman. I think his jersey should be retired. I know he was only there 3 years, but the 3 years he was there, y'all won. So, and again, you don't win without him. And so, you know, because we saw what happened the year before when you didn't have somebody like that on your team. So, excuse me. So I think, you know, he should be in consideration as well. But that said, I do think the Bulls should strongly consider it. And again, doesn't necessarily have to be this season, but I do think it needs to happen in the very near future.
I had to double down and agree with the Rodman one. Rodman jersey should have been retired, especially with what we just even seen recently, where shout out KD. I know KD always end up being a butt out just because of the Warriors situation, but the Warriors already announced that nobody's wearing 35 no more. So they already said they retired KD jersey. KD ain't been there that long. It's honestly, I think if you have a great impact to the franchise, where it could be it could be off the court too, whatever. If you have a great impact with the franchise, your jersey should be retired. Because we were just talking about who was the guy from the Thunder that got his jersey? He was the first OKC Thunder jersey retired.
Nick Collison.
Nick Collison. Nick Collison ain't bring no championships. I don't know how many times he went to the All-Star game, but I guarantee I guarantee he had a big impact on that organization as a whole, for whatever it is. You know, so I think when it comes to Derrick Rose, yes, easily his jersey should be retired because people don't realize, and I kind of more. This is more close to my heart in that situation where it becomes Derrick Rose filled the void of what Chicago Bulls basketball lost once Michael Jordan retired, and then the Bulls organization didn't do themselves no favors by handling it the wrong way. So you left a bad taste in people's mouth. Then Jordan ended up leaving. And we haven't seen that star power on the Chicago Bulls. I said star power. I know y'all Jordan fans don't. I'm not comparing them to the same on the level of a basketball player. I'm talking about star popularity. The Derrick Rose was just the closest thing to being popular to Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls. They had that in years. You can't tell me from when Jordan retired until Derrick Rose got in the league, who was our guy. He brought the Bulls back to relevancy, put them back on the map because they was eating off still, and they still doing it now to this day, Sean. It kind of died down because like the Bulls fans, they just getting tired of it, but they were just eating off Jordan. Oh yeah, you know, soon as something go wrong, bring up the Mike day. On this day, Mike dropped 55. On this day, the anniversary, and they was doing that for years. It's like, bro, it's 2007. Like, bro, it's over with. That's 90s. It's over with. It's 2024 now. Nobody cares about that no more. What have you done for me now? What have you done for me lately? You not finna every other 10 years bring Jordan or Scotty back or bring Robin back and don't he got his jersey retired or bring BJ Armstrong or Horace Grant back and just to talk about something that happened in the 90s. No. When Derrick Rose came back, it shocked everything. Now, Jordan, don't get me wrong, Jordan did come up there a couple times, and you know, when Derrick Rose won MVP, he was like, y'all in good hands. He came up there and did that, but they didn't have to use it no more. Derrick Rose had the United Center filled up. Even when Derrick Rose was injured, because the team was just popular and still good, that team had the United Center filled up. His impact on that organization, he deserves to have his jersey hung up in the Hall of Fame. I mean, in the not the Hall of Fame, with the Chicago Bulls. That's point blank for me, Sean.
Yeah.
Now, Your coach, your favorite coach right here, JJ Redick. See, y'all ain't see Sean's face. Y'all ain't see. But JJ Redick, the new Lakers head coach, you know, he had beef with Doc Rivers where he was doing his coaching interview for his job with LeBron. I believe that's when the beef kind of stemmed through what episodes of the podcast too, right?
No, not specifically. It was when he was on First Take, and he was
yes,
very, very critical of Doc.
Mm-hmm. Now it just hit me like a light bulb. I remember the exact when and Austin Rivers went on there saying like how he pretty much dogged Doc Rivers and he revived his career or that beef. Okay, so this is really an Austin Rivers and Doc Rivers thing, but whatever. So JJ Redick said, I don't carry beef with Doc Rivers. And after the 2023-2024 criticism of the situation, whatever. Why is this even a topic, Sean, about them beefing? Why is this? Because that concerns me that my new head coach, rookie head coach, who got to figure whatever's going on with this team, is still got this on his mind. Why?
So there's generally an unwritten rule in coaching that you can critique without being overly critical.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a lot of, you have a lot of coaches that go on and work as analysts, things like that. And a coach can, again, a former coach can critique something you're doing, but there's a fine line between critique and being overly critical. What JJ Redick did, again, someone who's never coached, let's point that out as well, who's now in that is now in the NBA coaching fraternity. There are certain things that he said, and again, specifically about Doc Rivers, who he did play for, who did bring him to LA to play for the Clippers. I think really, in all honesty, comes back to, you never know where the paths of life are going to take you, right? We do a podcast. We talk about sports. We are critical, but I think we are very, very cautious and mindful of not crossing the line of being disrespectful or demeaning. And again, there's a lot of people we don't necessarily agree with. Now, if you are a piece of trash, I really don't care what I say about you. All right. Let's be clear, right? There's a guy that we've talked about on this podcast that's a complete piece of trash, and I have no problem saying he's a complete piece of trash because he is a complete piece of trash. Right. And we don't have to say his name, but you know who he is, right? Complete piece of trash. It's highly unlikely that we will in our past ever run across him. And if I ever did run across him, I would tell him to his face, hey man, you're a piece of trash. Point blank, period.
Amen to that.
When you steal from poor people, you're a piece of trash. Simple as that.
Well, that just gave it away.
If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, just Google the athlete who stole from poor people. So all I'm saying is that you never know where these paths are going to cross you. But now you're in this seat. You're in this particular seat that you've never been in, right? And the irony of it, SB, is they both basically took the same career path.
Yep.
They both retired as players. They both went to work as analysts for different networks. And then they both got their first head coaching job without ever having coached. Right. And there was, and I remember when Doc got that job, there was a lot of criticism in the coaching community about that. Because it's like, hey, what has this guy done to really earn this right? Like a lot of guys, which again, a lot of guys got to go be assistants or scouts or work in the front office, whatever. He never did that. So, and the same applies to JJ here. So I think it's interesting that there's a conversation about a beef. I don't think they'll be sending each other Christmas cards.
Oh, no, of course not.
At all. And, and I think Doc, for all the criticism of Doc, some very well deserved about some of the in-game decisions and things like that. Obviously, Doc is considered one of the 15 greatest coaches in NBA history. Where he is because he was named top 15 when they did the 75 top 75.
I don't know if I agree. I got to do my research off the top of the head. Off the top of the head, I'm saying no.
Listen, I'm not saying that it was deserved. I'm just saying he was named. And again, he was named one of the top 15 coaches ever, right? Not going to argue whether or not somebody else should have gotten it over him. Same with the top 75 list that came out. I'm not going to argue that either. I think the general point is now you're in this seat, JJ Redick, and you did a lot of criticizing, so you better be on top of your job. And again, we're going to see if you are what they think you are, and you're not going to get a lot of grace period with this thing because you took on the job that's probably the most high profile in the NBA. So again, let's see. And also to add further context to it, Doc Rivers came out recently and talked about Darvin Ham and said, Darvin Ham took them to a Western Conference Finals, won an in-season tournament in 2 years. Why is he unemployed? So I think some of the criticism is not direct, but indirect to that organization that JJ Redick happens to work for. So, again, I don't know if it's a beef, but I do know it's just one of those things in the coaching fraternity. You got to be very, very careful about the things you say and what you do. And SB, you know this full well. When you were growing up, there might have been things that your parents did that you didn't necessarily like and didn't necessarily care for, right? Yep. When you became a parent yourself, there are things you might have come to the understanding like, this is why, they might have done this. You might not have agreed with it at the time, but you understood. You understand that I think is going to happen to JJ Redick in the course of his coaching career, however long it lasts. It's going to be like, this is why Doc did this.
Doc did that.
Because you're in a different seat now. You're not a player. You're in a different seat. So, it'd be curious to see how that plays out.
And then Cottage had a question in the chat. Well, I kind of answered once. I was like questioning is Doc a top 15 coach of all time. He said, is Doc Rivers overrated as a coach? I don't know. It depends on where you rank him. Top 15 coach. It might be his range, though. It might be over there. It might be his range, but yeah, I don't know. It depends on what. A couple years ago, he was for sure. I think it died down. Like after that Celtics one, and then a couple years when they ain't won, and then I think he went to like the Clippers, early Clippers. Yeah, I think now I don't know if he overrated no more, but it depends on where you ranking him. For me, only thing that concerns me about this story is that if JJ Redick, you got a whole job to do with this team, and the Lakers job is probably the toughest. It is the best job to have if you're doing good and you'll get all the notoriety. But the only problem with the Lakers job, every time you do something wrong, is under a microscope. Because fans of the game, when it comes, Laker fans, I say, they come experts out of nowhere. Don't be knowing what they're talking about. But if you call one wrong play, wrong timeout, one wrong rotation, they go talk about your rotate. This is the only fan base that they come coaching experts out of nowhere. So but you got to deal with that with the Lakers. But speaking of the Lakers, again, we got to go to another story, to the late, great Jerry West. So he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame again. This is uno, dos, tres. If you speak Spanish, this should be his third time getting into the Hall of Fame. He's getting in the Hall of Fame inducted as
an executive.
An executive. Now, with this becoming obviously because he passed, so we have stories of people talking about his beef with the Los Angeles Lakers. Imagine Jerry West is the Los Angeles Lakers. If you really want to talk about it, like Jerry West's fingerprints is all over the Lakers. The pedigree that the Lakers have, it would not have happened without Jerry West. Why now, Sean? And even why was the feud? Why did the feud even last this long? In your opinion, why did it last 20 years? And why would they bring this back up after Jerry West is getting inducted?
So obviously when you get inducted as an executive, people are looking at your career as an executive. And when you talk about his career as an executive, which was over, 40 years, half of that was with the LA Lakers. So
half of their championships came from Jerry West too, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Right. He was responsible for, GMing, 5 of their championship teams. So, and also, when you think about the greatest Laker ever, and I'm not talking about player, I'm just talking about most impactful Laker ever, it's Jerry West. When you talk about player, coach, and then obviously going into the front office, that he, essentially had a 40-year career, 40-plus year career with that team in some capacity. I think there are a lot of things that factor in, but let me just share these couple things real quick, SB. So first thing is, so in the late 90s, Jerry West was the GM, and they made a trade for Glenn Rice. Part of the reason why they made a trade was because, again, they wanted to add a third star or, all-star to Shaq and Kobe. Glenn Rice originally did not want to come to the Lakers because he was worried about, Glenn Rice was going to be a free agent. He was worried about how his role was going to affect him going into free agency because, again, he's looking to get a huge bag in free agency. Jerry West, and so the issue was Glenn Rice had a team option in the last year of his deal, and Jerry West told him and his agent that they wouldn't pick up that option. They wouldn't pick up that team option. Right. Somewhere, and generally, Jerry Buss didn't get extra involved in those details, but after that season, they did pick up Glenn Rice's option when Jerry West told him and his agent they weren't going to pick up his player option, the team option. So that started kind of the chasm right there. Then the second thing that happened around that time was, so the Lakers coach was Dale Harris. Dale Harris got fired, and Kurt Rambis took over as the interim head coach. Because, Kurt Rambis, longtime Laker, things like that. And one of the unique things about Kurt Rambis, SB, was Kurt Rambis' wife worked in the front office. So the general thought was that as a longtime Laker, that Kurt Rambis would get that job. Right. It was Jerry West who apparently pushed for the Lakers and for Dr. Buss to go get Phil Jackson,
which was very smart, by the way.
Which rubbed, again, some people in the front office the wrong way. So it started that chasm then and there. And then the other thing, and I would say this, and again, this is a little not basketball related, but certainly you can understand the dynamic here. So the third thing was, so the Lakers hired Phil Jackson, and not long after the Lakers hired Phil Jackson starts dating who?
Jamie.
Jerry West had some issues with that. He thought there needed to be a separation between front office and coach staff, that it didn't need to be that intimate. I don't, whether he said it, in the wrong circles, things like that, blah, 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 that's another conversation. But either way, that got back apparently to Jeannie and to Phil. And at that particular time, the Lakers had moved downtown to the Staples Center. Dr. Buss kept his office at the Forum. He didn't come bring an office to the Staples Center. So there was that piece as well. So basically, Dr. Buss was kind of out of sight, out of mind, if you will. And so that really, and again, Jerry West basically only reported to Dr. Buss, only reported to Jerry Buss. He's out of sight, out of mind. They're changing the front office over, all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So there's just a lot of stuff there. So Jerry West basically felt in a lot of ways forced out. Now, here's where it gets a little more interesting. So Jerry West's son Ryan worked in the scouting department for the Lakers.
Right.
And he did for a long time. Even after, Jerry was gone, he worked in the scouting department for the Lakers. And, he was under Mitch Kupchak and under Jim Buss. And they were basically, training him and teaching him, blah, 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 all sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Without going into crazy detail, fast forward in 2019, when Jerry West is working for the Clippers as a consultant, we find out later on there's a phone call that happens. And on that phone call, the voice on that phone call sounds like Jerry West talking about, Kawhi as a free agent. And basically it comes down to the Clippers and the Lakers.
Right.
And Jerry West, or the voice that is thought to be Jerry West, says, I don't know why he would ever go to that show. So that came out. And after that happened, essentially what happened later on was Ryan West was basically let go from his job in the front office or in the scouting department. And they ended up, and Jerry Buss promised Jerry West basically season tickets for life for him and his family. They pulled season tickets after all that happened. So there was a lot of stuff that happened. So when you talk about a 20-year feud, there was a lot of stuff that happened over that period of time that really, led to basically the split.
But that sucks because, like, for me, Sean, if you going to like squash it, don't do it now once he's gone. You know what I'm saying? RP Jerry West. I would rather see. I only truly know that, like, even in the article, I didn't read all of it, that they said that it's actually truly settled. I wish they could have, like, publicly announced, like, everything's all good. Jerry West is all love with the Lakers. And if anybody know or have a link to the article, please send it to me. Because that's what I wanted to see. Because I always hate when it be like the person is gone, so you ain't truly really settling the beef. You just accepting that he's gone. It's not really. It feel like it's one-sided to me. So I don't. It leaves a bad taste. It leaves a bad taste. I don't know, but it's warranted for why they had feuds, because it's like those, like, as Sean just get a history lesson on those knick-knack ticky things that are happening back and forth. But the Lakers cannot deny that without Jerry West, the Los Angeles Lakers would not be where they're at today. I don't care what nobody says. You cannot take that from Jerry West. No matter if you hate him, you hate he had his opinions, you hate that he said you shouldn't be going field, you hate that he didn't play y'all, but it don't matter. Without Jerry West, the logo, the Lakers will not be the franchise that they is today. I don't care what nobody says. And I have to agree with Sean. And you talking about most valuable Laker when it comes to executive coach, player, all around everything, Jerry West is by far the answer. It's no question. Now, we talking about just player, and it's Bean for me, but it's Kobe for me. Dude played there 20 years. 20 years, put your life. He was there almost like a lifetime for me. I'm taking Bean. If it's just player only. Speaking of the next Bean, or like a Kobe, really, I think this is the Jordan that's coming, because I feel like we're getting our Magic and Bird with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Once you just got to get them start winning, make the team competitive. Hey, look, man, aces, y'all didn't make it, man. Drop somebody over there on the sky, man. Drop a play over there in the Fever, man. Just go ahead, get them souped up. Then we get that head-to-head, and y'all can just break box offers. But I'm telling everybody now, when JuJu Watkins goes to the WNBA, that is the mic. That's when Jordan gonna enter. And she's already getting the money, and the popularity is growing too, because I think she's gonna be the one that takes off with the popularity this next go around. But JuJu Watkins signs a Nike extension to have one of the richest shoe deals in women's basketball. period. Not just college, women's basketball. This is part of what I'm saying, Sean, because there's a lot of stars in the WNBA right now who don't got shoe deals at all. But what does this say about JuJu getting this deal? And am I overreacted by calling her this might? I think this might, Sean. This might.
I mean, certainly she has the chance to be, a big face in an expanding game, not just women's college basketball, but also, when she does get to the WNBA. This is Nike hedging their bet that she is going to be that. I would say, you said Jordan. For me, it's more LeBron. When I think
WNBA got their Jordan yet, though. So they ain't got their Jordan yet.
Well, what I mean, and I say that just someone who's getting it this so young.
Yeah.
And again, it was a risk, whether people will remember it or not, to, for Nike at the time to give $90 million to an 18-year-old who hadn't played an NBA game yet. Now, again, obviously,
it worked.
It worked well. But certainly, I think this is what Nike does, right? It's a lot of times they do try to get to who they think is the next and who has that it quality, going back to Jordan, fast forward to, Tiger Woods and Bo Jackson and LeBron and, and now you're talking, and again, I'm skipping over a lot of folks, but JuJu now. I think this is what they're doing. And, I think the women's game, where the growth of the women's game is headed, I think she is very much going to be the face of that, because she is so individually talented. But also, whenever she does get to the WNBA, but even at the college level, at USC, winning will help that even more. And I think USC will definitely be a team that, will be right there in that national conversation this season from a college perspective. But again, when she gets to the WNBA, she's going to bring, I think a lot more groundswell and fanfare to it. And Nike's hedging their bet on that.
And I don't blame them. Like you, the best way to do it and to get a bang for your buck is get ahead of it. Now, and you never want to be ahead of yourself. And with this next guy, it could be a little bit both. You want to get ahead on it now by calling it, but you don't want to get over ahead of yourself. Jayden Daniels, right now, got to be the offensive rookie of the year. Nobody's doubting it right now. He got it. It's to a point now he's getting in that MVP conversation. Fans are comparing him, his first 5 games, to rookie year RG3. Now, for everybody who don't understand and forget, because I know RG3 phased out NFL injuries and whatever. Rookie year RG3 was a monster, and he showed so much promise that, like, okay, man, if this kid like this is going to be next level with RG3. But comparing their first 5 games, Sean, RG3, a 101 passer rating, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 8 total touchdowns, 2 total turnovers, 1,161 passing yards, and 241 rushing yards for RG3 first 5 games. Jayden Daniels, a 106.2 passer rating, 4 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, total touchdowns 8, 2 turnovers, passing yards 1,135, and 300 rushing yards. Sean, did the Commanders finally, it was the Redskins during that time, but did they find their RG3? Do they got their guy at quarterback?
You have to think so. And I know a lot of people are giving him a lot of the credit, but I want to say this, SB, and this is not a slight to Jayden Daniels at all. It is a better situation than it was this time a year ago, because they brought in presumably the right head coach in Dan Quinn. They brought in the right offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury. They got brand new ownership. They got a brand new or fairly new GM. They are changing the culture in Washington. And again, I think what you're seeing that is permeating on the field, obviously starting with the play of Jayden Daniels. But what I think I like most about what he's doing, he's not getting overly caught up in the hype. He's not drinking his own Kool-Aid. I would gather he's probably not listening to half of these shows and what they're talking about or anything like that. He is focused on doing his job.
Sean, I know he ain't. They said that man get to the facility at 4 a.m. He ain't got no time. He already out there balling.
Yeah. And again, there was another guy who used to do the exact same thing for another organization that I know for a fact that used to get to the facility that time in the morning. He would beat everybody there, you know. And
who's that player, if you mind me asking?
Jameis.
Oh, famous Jameis.
Yeah. So these guys understand, like, you know, it's a full-time job, and all the other unnecessary nonsense, you know, you got to make sure you keep that stuff at bay. And it sounds like he's doing that. And I think one other thing that's very interesting too about him, and again, this tells me he's keeping a tight circle. You know who his agent is?
Who?
His mother.
His mom? Oh, that's a good thing, because I don't hear mom. You know, mom ain't going crazy all in the news. It seems like business is handled proper over there. That's
so
good.
That tells me a lot there too. So he's keeping a tight circle. And again, you know, the main thing is, you know, there's I think Mike Tomlin might have been the first, or no, it wasn't Mike Tomlin. It was probably Eric Spoelstra. He said, keep the main thing the main thing. What Jayden Daniels is doing well. He's keeping the main thing, and not getting overly, again, wrapped up in this growing celebrity and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't even matter to him right now. I think he's, you know, focused on how can he get better and how can he help his team win games.
I could never thought I'd be sitting here saying, coming in the first 5 games of the season, Commanders will only have 1 loss, and they lead in the NFC East. Is crazy work to me. But hey, shout out to the Commanders. They made the right moves, made the right coaching. And I don't want them to be like everybody keep going with the grab the right quarterback thing. I think him and Caleb both great, but for Jayden Daniels is showing promise. Shout out Jayden Daniels. Speaking of another quarterback, Mr. Russell Wilson, Mr. Danger, Mr. 1-2 step. If you got it, you got it. You don't, you missed your beat. It's off the injury report for the Steelers and is expected to back up Justin Fields. Do you agree that he should back up Justin Fields?
If he's healthy, yeah, he should. And again, I think, you know, what the Steelers have done, and again, goes back to Mike Tomlin and why Mike Tomlin is one of the best of the best. He's never officially named Fields as a starter. I think it's always been game to game, week to week, who gives them the best opportunity to win. And right now, that is Justin Fields. Let's not get it twisted. Justin Fields gives them the best chance to win. And also, again, as we've talked about, SB, they really should see if Justin Fields can be their long-term answer at quarterback. Which, again, I would say for right now, I think he is. Again, still early in the season. And as long as they're winning games and he's playing well and he's progressing in the offense, I think that's what will happen. But, you know, I'm not one to get overly crazy about who the backup is. The backup is the backup. And until the backup has to come in and play, I don't worry about the backup. I'm worried about more the starter, and Justin Fields is the starter. My bigger concern for them is, can they get some help at wide receiver outside of George Pickens? Because their next wide receiver only has 8 catches in 5 games. That's not good. I know Freiermuth is a really good tight end, and obviously, but they need somebody on the other side.
Devontae Adams out there.
Obviously, they have been in the conversations with him, but there's another guy I think that's going to end up getting traded that they might have a better chance of getting for a lower price, and that's DeAndre Hopkins.
I thought you were going to say Amari Cooper, but okay, I can see D-Hop. I can see
no. Cleveland, listen, interdivision trades, no. And I mean, again, unless for some reason Pittsburgh just gives Cleveland the greatest, they're not doing anything.
They're not doing it.
A division opponent, so you can forget that right now. Yeah, no.
Man, sometimes you got to do just do his best for the deal, but I understand because you wouldn't want to see nobody twice. But yeah, I have to agree. No questions asked that. Shout out, Rob. basketball archives in the TikTok chat. What's up, brother? Yeah, he got 100% backup Justin Fields. There's no question. At the end of the day, the kid came in. You missed your beat because this was a open opportunity situation when it comes to this team in the quarterback position. And when you get injured and the other guy steps in to play, well, I'm not going to pull him now. He already built a chemistry with the squad and with the guys. So let's just keep Fields. If anything goes wrong, we bring Wilson in. And if anything goes wrong, we bring Wilson in. Then in Wilson playing good, we keep him as a starter. But right now, I'm 100% still on the Fields train. And this is why I like the Steelers organization, because the Steelers organization is a well-ran organization, the well-coached organization, and they handle things properly. Like you said, Mike Tomlin didn't even announce that Fields is not the starter. You know what I'm saying? Fields is a starter. Why you do that? To avoid the drama of back and forth, because the whole time Russell Wilson was out, it's just been drama back and forth, everything. Or should Russell Wilson ask for a trade? Oh, the Panthers, they looking bad with Bryce Young. Should they call Pittsburgh for Russell Wilson? You know, things like that. That's because the Steelers are a well-run organization. This other organization, sorry, KC, the Jets, you're not. Robert Saleh got fired by the Jets. What was your reaction off that first?
Well, first thing, I didn't expect them to do this. Honestly, I don't know if you watched the game on Sunday, SB, against Minnesota in London.
I watched that one.
But when I watched that game, I texted a buddy of mine, and I said, Aaron Rodgers is playing like he tried to get Robert Saleh fired.
Well, he did. He did get him fired.
Yeah. Now, I know there's a lot of things that have come out about what happened and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, just to point out a couple things. Number one, you know, obviously, when you look at the overall record in New York for Robert Saleh, the overall record's not great. Now, that said, each of the last 2 seasons, they won 7 games with Zach Wilson as the primary quarterback. I don't think we need to go into Zach Wilson. We all know what Zach Wilson is.
We can talk about Zach Wilson because we're going to get to about Zach Wilson prediction that I'm still haunted by.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah. Now, I will say a couple things. Robert Saleh obviously is a guy who he's a defensive guy. He's a defensive coordinator with the 49ers for a long time before he became the Jets head coach. The Jets have a really good defense. And I think part of that has to be credited to Robert Saleh. Now, also, everybody said, hey, you know, all they need is a quarterback. They go get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers obviously gets hurt last season, you know, after 4 plays. And that is the end of that. So I think they gave, and whether, again, the organization, you know, or not, and again, this is the Jets. So I take what the Jets do with a grain of salt because they're not a good organization, to be very clear.
Nowhere that close to good organization.
No, they stink. Let's just be honest. They stink as an organization. There are worse organizations, but they stink. I think they thought about firing Robert Saleh after last season. Because again, if after 5, you do this after 5 games, that tells me you didn't want to bring them back in the first place.
Yep, I agree with you with that.
So that's the first thing. And again, Robert Saleh, just like many head coaches, ain't a perfect head coach, right? I think he's a decent head coach. He's shown he can be a decent head coach and could even be a good head coach. But the problem is the Jets ain't the place where you could just be a decent to good head coach. They want greatness for whatever reason, even though they themselves are not a great organization, because they're in New York and there's a delusion that they believe they should be one of the class organizations. And this goes back to Woody Johnson, the owner, and who now apparently wants to be called Ambassador Johnson. because he was the ambassador to the UK. Your mama named you Woody. I'm gonna call you Woody because I don't care if he's an ambassador. That has nothing to do with football. Now, he's not been a good owner.
No.
When he became the ambassador to the UK, it was Christopher Johnson who stepped in and basically took over. That's who hired Robert Saleh, not Woody Johnson. So Woody Johnson has no ties to him in that way. He was not involved in running in that decision at all in that way. So I think that's part of it. So he has no ties. And also, apparently, Robert Saleh was ready. He wanted to fire Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator, after this week, right? Or he wanted to move, or either move on or change, pull him out and take Breakon away from him.
He wanted to run the offense?
No. I think he was either going to promote either the QB's coach or someone else to call plays.
Okay.
To call plays on offense. The irony of it, SB, is the interim head coach actually went ahead and did that this week. So what it tells me is Robert Saleh really is the scapegoat. He's really the fall guy. I think he deserved better given the circumstances of the situation.
We're going to talk about that next.
yeah. But also, and I know what we're going to talk about next, but also I do believe that while a player does not say him or me, a player can intimate him or me without saying it. And that's what it does feel like. Just Aaron outside Rodgers, looking in, it does feel like Aaron Rodgers did that. Apparently, they had a good relationship, but I don't think it was hey,
not
man,
good. No.
Yeah. I don't think it's one of those, hey, nah, coach, I got your back. Whatever you need, I'm gonna do. I don't think it was one of those kind of relationships.
No, I have to 100% agree that it wasn't one of that type of relationships. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets as an organization, they handled this terribly. They fired a coach because if you didn't want to bring this coach back here, you should never brought him back. He was already on thin ice. And it's unfair to put the guy on thin ice because his starting quarterback, he didn't have him, Aaron Rodgers. And he had Zach Wilson, who y'all never liked that quarterback anyway. Still got the 7 games. Whatever. The team not looking the same. That's cool. But you fired a guy. Then he wanted to say goodbye to the team, which I don't really necessarily know if this is normal or not to let the coach say bye to the team or not. If it's not, teams don't do that. This news shouldn't be out here. This news shouldn't be out here where, we had to escort our coach out of the facility. And we didn't already see things like this Jets organization. So I just think this even bad press. Why does it even be in the story? Why is this even being on news? That's what my problem come into play with this Jets organization. But what was your reaction to this?
Again, trash organizations do trash things. And this is, and again, they can say, this is our organizational policy. Well, it's trash because I recall when Jeff Fisher got fired by the Rams, that he addressed the team. He let them know in a meeting that he was let go, and he wished them well. He told them to continue to go to work and work hard and things like that, and that that he'd been let go. It's okay to do that, right? It's okay to do that. These guys have gone into games and weeks and months of preparation with a specific guy for years. It's okay to allow them to address the team. But again, trash organizations do trash things. And so it's not always surprising that they have, like, what were they think he was going to, pull a Raymond and go to his car. Pull a Raymond and go to his car and get his gun and come back. And you know what I mean? Like, that's a white man can't jump reference, by the way. Shout out to Josiah Johnson's dad, Marcus Johnson. But I think the point is like, you could have let him address the team, right? Yes. He's the head coach. Let him address the team. And, and again, he had been there for a long time. It wasn't like you were firing him in the middle of the first season. He'd been there for 3.5 years. Let him address the team.
I 100% agree. But then also, we got Aaron Rodgers out of there because Aaron Rodgers can't avoid that drama, man. I won't be shocked after Aaron Rodgers in his career. He will be in like some TV drama series or something, or reality, because it's all he like. He started the drama without the mandatory training camp. He had the drama with the wide receivers at a point in time. He's just always come with drama. Now, they said Aaron Rodgers, like how he addressed the thing, because the first person everybody point a finger at is Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Aaron, wait, Aaron Rodgers got on fire. Hey, Aaron, that's you. Aaron Rodgers say, well, y'all think I just got too much power. Now he's talking about he regrets the aftermath of the firing. For what, Aaron? You played a part in it. You even said, like, man, it looked like he's just trying to get his coach fired, how he just playing, man. Now you want to know when the fire hits you, you got to stand in it. You lit the match. You did this. You got a hand in this. You the leader. You the quarterback. You that guy. You cannot tell me if Devontae Adams, who's a wide receiver, and you are a quarterback at the position that is valued the most, and we know it's valued the most because we got players at an elite level like a Saquon Barkley don't get paid and get released, so players like Daniel Jones can keep a job and get paid more than you. So it's about your position. So I know you have a say-so, or you have the knowing, because Devontae Adams didn't want Garoppolo starting no more because he was trash, and he literally said bench him because he was the best player on the offense or the best player on the team, and they benched him. So Aaron Rodgers, you can miss me with that. You don't have that much power, but you have the knowledge of what's going on, or you knew something was up. And don't tell me now you regret the aftermath when you literally set the match. Oh, man, I regret this house fire is just burning up 2 houses. You set the house on fire. You burned the building down, brother. You can't be mad at the chaos when you like the match. That's how I feel with that. Aaron Rodgers, he got to stop. And he needs to play better, too, but ain't nobody talking about that, though.
I mean, those who aren't trying to, kiss his behind are. Because, again, what I saw on Sunday was atrociously bad. And, again, it was bad. And, again, I'm not putting it all on him. I know they had some issues with their offensive line. Again, the play calling, again, very, very suspect. And, again, I go back to, what Saleh was trying to do was, and, again, I don't think Nathaniel Hackett was ever Saleh's guy. I think Nathaniel Hackett was brought in because he was Aaron Rodgers' guy and because of the success they had in Green Bay. And which is why Nathaniel Hackett got that Denver job, which we know was an abject disaster. So I do think, at the end of the day, Saleh was made to be the fall guy. Aaron Rodgers might not have directly said, hey, I don't know if this is the guy, but sometimes tone can be everything.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the owner right after the game in London, and your tone spoke to you're not feeling the situation, even if you're not saying directly, I'm not feeling the situation. The owner was going to make a decision. And again, somebody has to take the fall, and Saleh just happened to be the person to take the fall in this one.
Somebody got to be the fall guy. And let me know what you guys think about the Saleh situation. Did the Jets handle this properly? I'm going to say no. It's going to be 100% no. Also, before we get into our injury bug of the week, October 21st. Yes, October 21st. Me and Sean will officially do our NBA preview. How we get the awards list. We do all that. We going to give you all that on October 21st. So circle your calendar. They're my basketball people. It will happen. Sean, injury bug of the week. Who you got?
I'm going to say Malik Neighbors. I'm out for a second straight week with a concussion. Giants have played, pretty well. They played pretty well last week in Seattle. Got a game Sunday night against Cincinnati. So I'm going to say Malik Neighbors.
For me, and only because of my fantasy team purposes, Joe Mixon. Like, God, Lee, come back, bro. You've been out since week 2. I gotta set my lineup, Sean. I think like everybody on my team hurt. I'm just cooked. So I am cooked. So I'm gonna have to go Joe Mixon for me. and it is your favorite time of the show, and it because it's Friday.
SB and Sean NFL Picks of the Week.
SB and Sean NFL Picks of the Week. Sean, okay, we got 2 key games for this week. We go get into the key games, but let's go ahead and go. Obviously, if you guys are not keeping track and keeping score, SB is up 4-1 right now. We're cooking, we're sizzling, we're hot, we're coming back strong. This is a revenge tour this year, Sean. We on a revenge tour. But all right, first game, what you got for me?
First game, we got Jacksonville Jaguars at the Chicago Bears in London.
I'm going. Wait. Whoa. Okay. The Jaguars play Sunday. When did the Bears play? Oh, they both play Sunday. Okay, so that don't matter. Because I'm gonna say, like, I gotta check the days when people play. I need to look and see who left or what days did they leave. But I'm gonna go with the Bears on this one. They finally rolling on offense. Caleb is getting a little going. They got a little gimme game, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars has not really been looking as good. So I'm gonna have to definitely go with the Bears.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears in this one as well. Again, you mentioned their offense has gotten rolling, some primarily because they've started trying to run the football with a little more consistency.
They got the ability to run the football more. They tried. They just couldn't. That offensive line terrible.
Yeah. So, I think, and also the Jaguars defense is atrociously bad. Like really bad. And offensively, it's really hit or miss with them offensively. I know they pulled out their first win last week, but again, I'm taking the Bears in London by 4.
Cool. What is next?
Next game, Arizona Cardinals at the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
Arizona coming off a last-minute win in San Francisco last week.
Mm-hmm. This in Green Bay, though. This one closer than you really think. I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'm gonna go Cardinals. Cardinals going Green Bay and getting done. I'm gonna regret that because it's tough to win in Green Bay, dog. It's tough to win in Green Bay. But I'm gonna go Cardinals. They feel a little hot. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. Wait a minute. Black Ops. Hold on, wait. I gotta see. Is it Black Ops 4? What is it? No, is it 6? It's 6. Release date. Hold on, 1 second, Sean. I gotta make sure. Because if it's out, okay, October 25th. We got time. We good. October 25th. Okay, I'm sticking with my Cardinals. I had to make sure before I pick the Cardinals. I had to make sure.
I'm taking the Packers in this one. I think the Cardinals did pull out, a close win last week, but they're very, very mercurial. A very mercurial team, particularly offensively. But that said, I'm taking the Packers at home by 6.
Okay. What's the next one?
Next game, Indianapolis at Tennessee. Will Levis will be starting for Tennessee. Anthony Richardson is on track to play on Sunday as well.
I think I see something say he might be out too, so it's still 50-50. But like you said, he's on track.
Yeah, they're saying he's on track to play, yeah.
Ooh, I will want to pick the Colts, but I don't know if he's going to be ready to play. So just for safety purposes, I'm going to go to the Titans. I know Will Levis playing. I know.
I know. Really. I know. If I'm a Titans fan, you never thought you'd say, please play Mason Rudolph.
I ain't gonna go that far.
No, I'm serious because if you watch them on Monday night, when Mason Rudolph came in the game, he played like a vet. He made a few key plays here and there, but he didn't do anything stupid. Yeah.
I never seen him no player shot. He'll play solid, like 5 drives, and then just do something dumb. And it just be like, it's not even like, oh, it's a bad play. You could get better. It was just like, Why are you doing? That's stupid. Why would you throw? Like, why you running? Like, it just be that like plays. Like it's bonehead plays with him.
Yeah, you took the Titans.
I'm taking the Titans. I feel like I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna take them.
Oh my gosh.
Stand up, take the Colts. Stand up business.
Yeah, I'll take the Colts.
Okay.
I'll take the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colts by 1.
This next game should be a pretty easy one to pick. Houston Texans at the New England Patriots.
We ain't got a last song on this one.
Drake May started his first game.
That's devious work to throw. They could have threw Drake May a bone. Like they could have picked like a Panther team, you know what I'm saying? Well, I can't say the Commanders no more. Jaguar. Like, give him a gimme game. This ain't the game you want to give him. But yes, definitely taking the Texans by MVP CJ Stroud pick. Try to keep that pick strong.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans by 10 in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that their defense is really, really good. They may, they made a couple teams look a lot worse than they are. But I think if you're the Texans, be careful. This can be a bit of a trap game if you don't come out and ready to play.
You will lose.
Yeah, so but that said, Houston by 10.
Okay, I like it.
Next game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler, rookie starting.
Oh, yeah, your quarterback, your future. If you guys listen to audio, Sean got his Saints logo right there behind him. His future quarterback, Spencer, is gonna come out there with the red hair and throw a turnover just like he did in his Oklahoma days. I can't wait to see it. And Big Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to dominate and get it done. This if any loss is Sean could probably win this week, but this loss might sting more if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and just whoop on them and Spencer just look like god awful like Derek Carr 2.0. That'll probably hit you harder than losing this picks of the week.
So my general rule, I don't ever pick against the Saints, and that still applies. I will not pick against the Saints. So
Big Baker and them boys coming to town.
I think this is going to be a defensive battle, though.
Yes.
It usually is. But I'm gonna take the Saints by 2.
And then I wonder what, because the Hurricane is around like Tampa. So what is the Buccaneers gonna do about home games? Did they not go, or is that okay?
Well, so the Bucs are on the road. This game is in New Orleans. They've been in New Orleans since Tuesday before the Hurricane. So they're there. They're ready to go. So
that's all for future references. I know this game is in the web. So future references.
I don't believe there was any damage to their stadium, if I'm not mistaken. The damage was the Rays Stadium, which is in St. Petersburg. The roof of that stadium was ripped off, which for that stadium might actually, well, never mind. But I'll just say, I'm a Yankee fan. I trash talk the Rays when I can. But the point is no, their stadium.
Too soon.
Yeah, the Bucs, as I understand, is okay. There was no major damage to the stadium, as I understand.
Okay, cool.
Next game, Cleveland Browns at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia coming off their bye week.
Oh, this is an easy pick too, Philly. It's a Deshaun get what he got going on right, and they fix everything else going on. I am not picking against them.
Same for me. Eagles get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith back this week, which will be a big boost to their offense, obviously. Cleveland they're just a mess offensively until Nick Chubb comes back. I don't know what, and until they get their offensive line fixed, I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm going to take the Eagles by 9 in this one.
Yeah, free Myles Garrett, man.
Yeah. Next game, LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos.
Balled up. We'll go ahead and pick the Chargers. We go ahead and whoop on these Broncos right here. I'm waiting on somebody to get my quarterback too, but we ain't gonna talk about who and what quarterback that is. That's a different story for a different day. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers.
I'm gonna take the Chargers by 3 in this one. I think this is
3.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't expect this to be a shootout. I expect Jim Harbaugh to keep this a game that's in control, and so I think it's gonna be a close game. But I'm gonna take the Chargers by 3.
The Chargers by 21 for me. It's a blowout. Let's get these boys up out of here.
Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders starting Aiden O'Connell at quarterback this week.
Ooh, good luck with TJ Watt rushing at you, brother. I'm taking the Steelers. Nope, pick the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers as well, coming off a tough loss against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I'm gonna take the Steelers by 7 in this one. I think they'll play well and bounce back.
Okay.
Next game, late afternoon game, Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta been off since last Thursday. Carolina coming off.
I'm going to go with them Atlanta boys, the dirty boys. The dirty birds playing good. They playing good down there. Kirk O'Chain's looking good, Sean. Kirk O'Chain's. The chains for the start coming out next, Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons by 10 in this one. I think they just be too much for the Panthers. And, it was pretty bad last week in Chicago for the Panthers. I don't think it gets better this week. I do think it would be interesting if they are getting blown out, if we get to see Bryce Young come out again. But, it'll be interesting to see.
If y'all bet, hey, I ain't saying do it, but this type of game, you can put a defensive touchdown in your parlay because I can see a pick 6 happen in this game for sure. What's next?
Sunday Night Football game. Sunday Night Football. I'll be watching the Penguin instead of this game. Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants.
I'm taking the Bengals. We ain't got to argue about it. I'm taking the Bengals.
I will say the Giants did play well last week on the road in Seattle. But I'm gonna take Cincinnati as well, even though again I still have made that Cincinnati defense is horrendous.
Everything about Cincinnati is horrendous right now.
Yeah, but that said, I'm gonna take the Bengals by 3.
Yeah, everything.
And last game before we get to the key games, Monday Night Football, Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets.
Until I figure out what's going on with their coach situation, I see this look like something that's worth putting my pick on. I'm not picking the Jets today, so we're gonna go to Bills.
Yeah, I'm not taking the New York MESS in nothing. I'm taking the Bills in this one. The Bills coming off a tough loss in Houston last week, but I do think they do get things figured out. But I will say Buffalo definitely is going to have to, get some things, figured out offensively, try to get back to being a little more balanced, get James Cook going and that running game going like they were early in the season. But I'm going to take the Bills by 7 on Monday Night Football.
All right. Key games of the week, Sean. What we got?
Got two key matchups. First key game of the week. Early game that should have been flexed to Sunday Night Football, but they don't flex this early in the season. Washington Commanders at the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, because you didn't expect the Commanders to be this good. You got Jayden Daniels. You got LeBron Jackson. It's box office TV right now. And also, shout out to Scary Terry because he is benefiting the most, and I guarantee he is living a sigh of relief that he actually got a solid quarterback in his life right now during his career. I guarantee you probably can't name a lot of the quarterbacks who threw him the ball. And I guarantee some of the quarterbacks are not starting in the league right now. Maybe only one. And I believe that's might be Kurt. I think he was there with Kurt. But I think this is going to be the first game Jayden Daniels get a true kind of like dose of reality. But if the Baltimore Ravens defense look like how they supposed to look. But I'm expecting the shootout in this game, Sean. And I want to go pick the rookie so bad, but I just think this Ravens team And Lamar Jackson is too experienced, and he gonna make plays when he need to be making plays. And I don't think the rookie's gonna be able to keep up. So I'm taking experience with this one, and I got the Ravens winning a close one by either a touchdown or like a field goal.
This game is very interesting to me, SB, part because, this game I think will come down to the Ravens being a little more disciplined defensively. With Jayden Daniels, obviously we understand as a dual threat guy and them having a dual threat guy in Lamar, they understand the value of trying to take away one of those things. It would not shock me if they, spy him quite a bit, particularly on certain downs and distances as well. Apparently they've brought Dean Pease, their former defensive coordinator, in to help consult with the defense with Zach Orr. So perhaps that will add some value to them getting things figured out defensively. But that said, Washington's defense is not great. And I expect Derrick Henry and Lamar to have their pickings. And so I'm taking the Ravens by 7 at home. And the last key game of the week, late afternoon game on Sunday, Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, subpar throw there, Dak. Subpar throw. But probably jump ball, whatever. CD, we read your lips. We know what you said. This game is going to be a very good game too. Might be a little closer because it is in Dallas. But the one thing that I haven't seen Dallas do consistently enough for me to believe in them is stop the run. And this team that they're going against right now is going to be a complete nightmare. You got Jahmyr Gibbs and you got David Montgomery and the Detroit Lions will run the ball. They like to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball. I got Detroit winning this game. It's only a little bit closer because they are in Dallas. If I think this is I think the Lions win this game handily. But I got the Lions win this game easily, and you got to put David Montgomery and Gibbs down for a touchdown because I definitely see them both getting a touchdown.
I will say, SB, the last 3 times these teams have played in Dallas, the game has come down to some very questionable officiating if you're a Lions fan. The game last year, we know about the 2-point conversion that was called back, even though, it should not have been called back. There was a pass interference penalty many years ago in the wild card game on Brandon Pettigrew, tight end from the Lions, that the flag was picked up on. And so I do think certainly the officiating will be very much a big part of this game. That said, Detroit has to come out and handle business, try not to lead the game in the hands of the officials. Dallas has a lot of injuries defensively. They're going to be missing Micah Parsons. They're going to be missing, Eric Kendrick. Yeah, they're missing, quite a few guys in their front 7. So I do think Detroit wins this game, and honestly, Detroit should probably, blow them out. If Detroit does show up and do what they do, because when they're clicking, they're not an easy team to deal with. So I'm gonna
take the Lions. I still think that they should have won the NFC Championship game. I just think it was just bad management on coaching. I think they had that game handily, and I still agree on that. And I think this team even can just go back and do the same thing again.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Lions by 9 in this key matchup.
Cool, Sean. So how many games we picked differently? Like 4? I think we picked a couple different.
We picked 1, 2, 3 differently.
3 different. Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Episode 8, Sean. Who you got?
Episode 8.
Season 2.
Season 2, episode 8. I'm gonna go with the greatest left-handed quarterback of all time, Steve Young.
Steve Young. I like that. I like the Steve Young pick. I like the Steve Young pick. I gotta show love to the Mamba, man. I gotta show love to the great Kobe Bean Bryant. I gotta go 8 for Kobe. See what other good players on the list. Players to wear 8.
Yogi Berra. Yeah, Yogi Berra. Shout out to Yogi Berra, Yankees.
Yogi Berra. Oh yeah, shout out Yogi Berra. Hey, who said Yogi Berra? A good pick. That was you, Sean, or somebody in the chat said that?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the other screen. Yeah, Steve Young, Yogi Berra. Yeah, that was good. I forgot about Yogi. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna stick with Cole.
And you know what? I need to shout out another one. We don't generally talk this sport, but there's a guy plays for the Washington Capitals.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Alexander Ovechkin.
A dog.
He's going to surpass Wayne Gretzky this season more than likely. And so when we talk about longevity. And obviously, you talk about guys like LeBron and others. Ovechkin needs that same respect. He has been doing it for a very, very long time at a very high level. So, Alexander Ovechkin.
He never played for no other team, right? He only stayed where he was at.
I know he did. I think he went overseas briefly and then came back. But don't give me the line.
Huh? I'm gonna check right now. Let me see. Let's try to check. Oh well.
No, he's been with the Capitals since 2005. He played for Dynamo Moscow from 2001 to 2005.
Okay, but NHL wise, he only played for the Capitals there.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Oh well, that's good then. Shout out to him, and he won one too. I believe he won one time with the Capitals. But yeah, that is the show. See you guys on Monday. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. If you guys listen to the audio platform, make sure you guys leave a 5-star review. Make sure you guys share the podcast out. We're getting out to the people. We're going. There's more and more about today. This is Sbtalksports. This is Sean Webb. And we will see you guys on Monday.
Real tapes over fake debates.
Rucker Man.